fight, so he switched to shoot. Kept missing, I was even moving. Shot one, son of what I'm doing. He was very dazed, didn't even name. So he told one straight to the
everybody that wanted to
talking, screaming on my name. Talking me to back up and go away. You know people quickly run their mouth. Always try snitching for some clout. Ain't seen a nigga cause I'm out. The shit get shaky, then you bounce. Making flips in another town. But laying low, we don't play around. Don't regret shit that I did. Hell, I'll do it all again. Going hard.
Good morning, everybody.
In my way, I just run through y'all. Steady chasing after pay, I can't go back home. Steady running from a case, I just run with arms. I just run with arms. I keep
Good morning, Jasmine.
Niggas always in the way, big step, knock shit off.
Tag a couple more people. I had to write them down so I don't forget who is actually interested in this conversation.
Niggas always wanna play, say you pull up, won't go. Now we gathered here today, local paper boy, more. Let me get them out the way, all don't know.
Alrighty. I done tagged some of the people. I mean, yeah, go for more, I guess.
It's all little nigga face. These clear niggas face. I keep going hard. Steady in my way, I just run through y'all. Steady chasing after pay, I can't go back home. Steady running from a case, I just run with on.
Alright.
I just run with on.
So today I'm gonna be talking about the tips that I feel like beginner witches should start with. Well, the stuff they should start with. So I'm gonna title it 5 tips for beginner witches or brujas or whatever you want to be called. Let me start my little smoke part of it. Yeah, I know I got my blunt, and I'm kind of late today. I normally be on here way earlier, huh? Good morning, Daphne. Good morning, Camille. I wrote a lot of notes, so I won't get sidetracked. But every so often, I come back and touch on the same subjects, especially because we almost got like 1,000 people in here now. So we got a whole bunch of new people that are just now starting their journey, like I was a couple years ago. Can y'all hear me good before I get started? Good morning, Whitney. Sound good? Everything good, y'all? Alright, if y'all see me looking down, it's because I made like 3 pages of notes to make sure I don't get sidetracked, because y'all know I can talk. Alright, so let's get started. 5 tips for beginner witches. The first, well, I'm just going to tell you all 5 tips and then go one by one. So the first one is protection. The second one is follow intuition. The third is crystals. The fourth is books or reputable resources. And the fifth is the most important, I feel like, of everything, which is your ancestors and the ancestology. So for protection, I'm not going to make this part long because I have a whole, 40-something minute protection video. But you know, our smudges, which are certain herbs like sage, cedar, palo santo, all those type of things. Those are smudges. You can either burn them whole or grind them up and put them on a charcoal disc. Those are means of protection. You can also use incense, sage incense, Palo Santo incense. It's a whole bunch of different incenses. You can use those. The smoke will work for a smudge for protection. And then there's also smudge sprays. Like Florida water, Palo Santo, sage, all of those, you can find those in sprays as well. But a lot of people don't think about this when I'm about to mention for protection, but meditation. Meditation is very vital in protecting yourself because, say like if you're an air sign and you go to sleep and you're having a dream, but it's really not a dream, and astral projected to somewhere else. If that was the case, you would need to ground. In order to ground, you need to meditate. So that's why I feel like meditation is also a vital part of protection. Crystals. Crystals are another means of protection. But since I have crystals as a whole different part, I'm not going to go into the crystals just yet. So these are the things to look for protection if you're a beginner. Smudge sprays, smudge herbs, smudge incense, and meditation, and crystals. For our second tip, it is follow your intuition. Everyone has a spiritual gift, even if you don't know it or not. If it hasn't came to you yet, everyone has a spiritual gift. And when I get to explain it, you're going to understand why I say everyone has a spiritual gift. Because everybody be like, dang, I can't hear my ancestors, or how do I get in touch with my spirits? Even if you haven't did that yet, I promise you, you got a spiritual gift. Everyone has a ori, which is your soul, or let me say it like your higher self. Everyone has that. And our soul is what, give us our intuition. If you listen to it or not, that's up to you, but we all have that intuition. When our spirit is assigned to us, our soul, ori, or higher self, knows our life path. That's why when stuff pop up, how they be like, follow your first mind. All of that is coming from us. That's coming from within. That's coming from our soul, our higher self. So, yeah, follow your intuition. And for examples for following your intuition, I'm going to talk about the 5 clairs. If you don't know what the 5 clairs are, I'm about to explain them now. The first clair is claircognizance, which represents clear knowing. You know how some people just get an idea out of nowhere and it's something that was true, but you didn't know where it came from? That's claircognizance. It's associated with the crown chakra, which also having claircognizance can be representative of getting divine guidance. Knowing things but not knowing where it came from. All of that is claircognizance. It went out. The second clair is clairaudience. That's associated with the crown chakra as well. And that's also associated with the third eye chakra. Mostly the third eye chakra, but they all run hand in hand. And that's just straight up hearing spirit. Hearing voices, hearing messages. You know it didn't come from you. You know you didn't think it. That's clairaudience. The third clair is clairvoyance. That's about the most one I think everybody's probably familiar with because of mediums and psychics is, clairvoyance, which represents or means clear seeing. And it's also associated with the third eye chakra. Seeing with both your eye and your mind is clairvoyance. Getting messages and seeing spirit, all of that is clairvoyance. The fourth clair is clairempathy. And that's clear feeling, which is also associated with your throat chakra. Alright. So Claire, empathy is for all of the empaths in here. You know, it's like you one with all, and that's also associated with your throat chakra. I bet y'all didn't know that, because I didn't know that either until I researched. You know, I be looking up stuff. But Claire, empathy is feeling others' emotions, pain, and suffering. Yeah, because I literally feel people's pain sometimes, and ugh. So the fifth Claire is clairsentient, which is associated with the solar plexus chakra. And that is all five senses making you aware and speaking to you through people, places, times, and events. So, you know, all those signs and omens you might be getting, that's clairsentience. Seeing the repeated numbers, noticing a penny on head or a dime on head, all of that is clairsentience. Do y'all have any questions before I move on? Because I still got like, what, 3 more. Or would y'all like me to keep going on and say the questions to the end? Yeah, when I upload this to YouTube, they're gonna think I'm dying, but I'm just smoking. You didn't know that? Well, I guess I'll keep going and just save the questions for last, because I want to know what that is that you didn't know. You just said I didn't know that. So the third tip that I feel like beginners should, you know, learn about it and use are crystals. Crystals possess pure energy. Crystals are natural and have natural healing properties. There is a such thing as crystal healing. Like, you know, when you went to the doctors and doctors just can't figure out what's going on with you, that's when you have to find, you know, natural methods of fixing things. And crystal healing is one of those natural methods. Oh. So let's see. There are also certifications you can get for being a crystal healer. Alright, cut my air up. Alright. If there is, like, if you can't afford a lot of crystals, dang. If you can't afford a lot of crystals, the one crystal that I think that everyone should get is Tiger's Eye. Because Tiger's Eye is for protection against negative energies and entities, but it also works for 2 chakras. It'll work for your root chakra and your solar plexus chakra. But yeah, so that's all I'm gonna say for crystals. The fourth tip is books or, you know, reputable resources. Learning is fundamental. There is so much information online that's misinformation, you know. If you find something and it doesn't sound or feel right, follow your intuition. If it does resonate with you, take it. If it doesn't resonate with you, just put it away. It's going to be a lot of things, like on your spiritual journey, that you're going to find that some things work with you and some things don't work with you. So I have 4 books I would suggest you get if you're a beginner. The first one is The 4 Agreements, and it's from Miguel Ruiz. The second one is The Complete Home Guide to Herbs, Natural Healing, and Nutrition by Jill Davies. The third is Psychic Self-Defense by Deanne Fortune. And the Psychic Self-Defense is in the files. The fourth one is The Power of Songs by Anna Riva, and that's in the files as well. But those will pretty much have you straight as a beginner without knowing much of anything. because the four agreements are just teaching you life lessons in general. I literally recommend any and everybody read that book, to be honest. And the complete home guide to herbs, natural healing, and nutrition is telling you about different herbs and what body part they work for and the healing properties. Psychic self-defense is going to teach you how to block people out, to literally reject psychic attacks, because that really is real. And like, even with me talking to people and reading cards, doing tarot and Reiki, it's energy manipulation. So I could be getting bad energies off of other people. So you have to learn how to block yourself from receiving those bad energies or giving off, your energy. And then the reason I said the power of Psalms is because if you're not familiar with spell work, your words are spell work as well. So the whole book of Psalms is spells. So without even lighting up a candle, you can say a prayer 3 times and project it and manifest it. Hello, Sabrina. And then my last tip is ancestor altar. I feel like this is the most important tip. That's why I saved it to last. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for our ancestors. Let me start by saying that all ancestors aren't good or aren't going to want good for you. Just like all people aren't good or bad people. All ancestors aren't going to be good or want good things for you. So whatever ancestor you use on your altar need to be family members that were good. Research. Don't just put any name on your altar. Put specific ancestors on your altar that you knew wish you well and were good people. It doesn't matter King James or the New English version. Just the whole book of. But I didn't say go to Psalms. I put the book. I say get the book. It's called The Power of Psalms by Anna Reba. I was recommending the book. Alright, where was I at? Be wise when you choose which ancestors you want to use on your altar. Ancestors are more important than trying to use any deity, god, or goddess. They are our direct bloodline. They are our defense in the physical and spiritual realm. So how do I connect with my ancestor? Make an altar for them. The altar doesn't have to be big. It can be a desk or table, a little end table, or it can be literally a box, a portable box. And they have ancestor boxes that you can buy as well. If you don't have a sacred place, you could just use a box or make your own ancestor box. You said New English version is easier. Alright. Talk to them and give them offerings or libations. You have to build a rapport with them to start receiving messages. Before you can hear them, it would start with signs and omens, ringing in your ears, or headaches in the middle of your forehead. So those are all the tips I feel like the beginner should start with. Do y'all have any questions? My glasses are